going to take 5 minutes. I just want to ask, you understanding that the war in Iraq was built on a lie with George Bush, right? And you might go to war, what, next year? What do you feel about going to a war, understanding that the war started on a lie with weapons of mass destruction?
I feel as if that, you know, if it wasn't for the lies, all of our soldiers wouldn't be dying right now. And that, you know, in the same sense that if George Bush wouldn't have had anything to do with over in Iraq and stuff like that, that we wouldn't even be over there. If he wasn't signing all these, like, talking to them and conversating about all this stuff, like he making deals and stuff, that we wouldn't even be over there. Because technically he's the one, like, saying that, you know, we got to be over there just because they're trying to bomb us when it's his fault to begin with.
And so I don't understand this. Then you know that George Bush lied to get you over there, but yet his children are not fighting over there, and yet you're going to go to war anyway, knowing that it was a war that was built on lies?
I mean, like, I'm going to go to war, but, like, not as if, like, for George Bush in the country. Like, I'm going to go serve our country because of what George Bush screwed up to try and save what he screwed up.
So you think you can save what George Bush... Because why are you trying to save what he screwed up in Iraq? They have ships waiting to go into Iran now. Yeah. So can you straighten that out too?
I mean, like, every person, like, I mean, one person can make a big difference in, like, the world nowadays. And as if, like, I might not be able to do it myself, but, you know, others might be able to do it because they're, you know, enlisting in the military and stuff like that. They can, like, make a big difference.
I got one more question because I know you have to go. The last question is, can you tell me what the Iraqi uniforms look like?
I'm pretty sure they wear, like, some sand, like a sand desert type uniform.
The reason why I'm saying that is because not once have I seen an Iraqi uniform. And I found out that the people that they're killing is actual civilians. Even your brothers who went over there and fought came back and said, listen, they have told us to shoot in on crowds where there was women and children because there might be a threat of one person within the crowd that might be a threat. These are things that go on in war. Do you understand that? Are you ready to deal with post-war traumatic syndrome?
I mean, it's not like it's a big worry to me. It's that as if, like, you know, we're going over there and then, like, the country of Iraq is sending people, like, to fight us, but they're sending, like, little children over there with guns and stuff. They got kids, like, running around with, like, weapons and stuff, and as if, like, we could save their country and, like, try and, like, prevent all these little kids from going into, like, serious situations.
Okay, so that's a key thing you said there. Now I'm going to ask you this, because you're saying that really they're putting their children in harm's way, because since the American invasion, the children are being used as pawns in this war. So I'm going to ask you a question. If Iraqis came and invaded America and started killing civilians here in America, right? Would we look at the children here in America as wrong, trying to defend their country?
I mean, like, I would rather, like, you know, honestly, if it would have been me and my kids, I would never want my kids to go to war, because I'd rather have them like surviving, living a good life, you know, instead of having to fight peace, like, for like something that, like, yeah, just for their freedom. But, you know, the fact is that they shouldn't have to be fighting because we have a president that screws things up, and that, you know, we won't.
Now you're talking about your commander-in-chief, you know that.
Yeah, like, I mean, like, it's like, I'm a voter. I'm not gonna vote for him at all. You know what I'm saying?
Well, he will not be on the next ballot. You know that.
I'm saying, but if he ever did, like, if anybody that had anything to do, like, try to keep the war going, I wouldn't vote for them. I would try and like, end stuff. You know what I mean? Try and make it a peaceful life like we had for a couple years, you know, instead of, like, you know, going to wars, this, that, and third, you know.
So you're thinking about more so Barack Obama than John McCain is what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, now here's the question. If you end up going to war, I'm going to say you because you're dressed and ready. If you end up going to war and George Bush declare war against Iran, and it becomes a national security measure here in the United States, you know that George Bush, under the provisions that was just voted in, that he can become dictator and the election could be called off? Did you know that?
I mean, if that is to happen, I mean, that then the country's gonna have a problem that, like, you know, it's gonna be kind of hard to solve, because it was kind of hard to solve all the other dictatorships in other countries. You know, we were playing those other countries to try and end that. You know, because they're sending over, like, people that, you know, have no reason to be over there. They're drafting people that are, like, just doing their thing and, like, just being free with their life. And they're sending over people that don't even want to go to war. People that just want to, you know, just help out, whether it be saving people's lives by, like, you know, medications and stuff like that, helping them with, like, medicines and, you know, surgeries and stuff like that, just trying to save their lives, you know. Like, he just, you know, wants to send people over there just to fight and to kill people. That's not the real issue. The issue is to save our people.
Save our people, but since the war started, when they went to war, gas was $1.89 a gallon.
Yes.
Now it's $5 a gallon. And come to find out,